Okay, so on to the next track in Sammy's Rock Empire Fridays, man. Now we are on to Shinedown. I love Shinedown. I think Shinedown is absolutely fantastic. We haven't done Shinedown in a while, and I don't think we've gone like very deep into the discography, but I think we have done a couple of tracks of theirs, at least maybe 9 or 10. I think maybe 9 or 10, maybe that's even too much. And everything I've heard of theirs has been fantastic, literally fantastic. Maybe a bit more than 9 or 10, actually. Anyway, this one over here is Shinedown, What a Shame. For those of you who are only joining us now, I suggest you go back. We're literally on the 9th reaction today, and we're still carrying on. So go back and start from there. And also you can go back and watch the update video I dropped before I dropped any of these reactions. I dropped an update video just to give you an update in terms of what's happening on the channel and what we're doing this month and what we're catching up on and stuff like that, just to give you a bit of information, because I feel like we haven't spoken in a while. So let's rock and roll. Shinedown, What a Shame. Let's go.
Cigarettes a day, the strongest whiskey Kentucky can make. That's a recipe to put a vagabond on his hands and knees.
Ooh.
I watched it all up close, I knew him more than most. I saw a side.
That's the recipe to put a vagabond on his knees, right? Obviously, laughs hard, essentially. So the recipe is what, cigars and whiskey, or cigarettes and whiskey, tobacco and whiskey, whatever he said.
To put a vagabond on his hands and knees. I watched it all up close, I knew him more than most. I saw a side of him he never showed, full of sympathy for a world that wouldn't let him be. That's the man he was. Have you heard enough? What a shame, what a shame, to judge a life that you can't change. The choir sings, the church bells ring, so won't you give this man his wings? What a shame to have to beg you to see we're all the same.
Fire. This is actually a very real track over here, because the world has got a way of actually knocking people down, right? And society and things like that. That's just literally how it is. It's all baked into the cake, essentially, right? But you must never forget that any man or woman is literally one bad day away from complete and utter lunacy, from completely going fucking mental, right? Because eventually those pressures have a snapping point. And at that snapping point is, at least the snapping point's great because you're going to actually get that flood out. You got to, it's kind of like that. I always use this metaphor in terms of like the glass, right? Life is like a glass, and every single day there's a drop of water that's filling that glass. But by the time that glass is full, but the water gets to the very top rim of that glass and it starts spilling over, that is literally how you feel inside, where you literally can't take anymore. There's room, there's space to take a lot of volume, take a lot of pain, a lot of stress, a lot of strife and all that kind of crap. But eventually there is a snapping point. Eventually there's a snapping point, and that snapping point can sometimes come through in a very ugly way, like whiskey and tobacco and stuff like that, literally just spiraling downwards, essentially. But the positive side to that is that eventually you will hit rock bottom. And when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. So eventually you're going to have to go up, right? And a lot of the times in most of our existences, hitting rock bottom is actually unbelievably important, because it actually opens up our eyes. Because sometimes we get very delusional. Sometimes we play into a lot of our deceptive ideas of ourselves, right? And we're in denial of who we really are. And the only thing that's going to teach you who you really are in terms of the thing that you shouldn't be is at rock bottom. Because that's when when you hit rock bottom, that's when you're going to look at the mirror and be like, is this my life? This is where I want to be now. No. And then it kind of fires you up to sort of start climbing again, right? So yeah, so I like it. I like the song. Anyway, carry on. Starting off from what I've heard so far.
What a shame. touch of gray for every shade of blue. That's the way that.
That's really good writing. There's a hard life for every silver spoon, and there's a touch of grey for every blue. Essentially, that's very cool.
That's the way that I see life. If there was nothing wrong, then there'd be nothing right. And for this working man,
exactly.
They stand, there's gotta be
exactly over there. That sentence sums up everything. If there was nothing wrong, there would be nothing right. You wouldn't know or appreciate good times without knowing and having the bad times, right? Because there's an equilibrium to this crazy world that we have. There's an order to this crazy world. The top of a desk needs to have a bottom of the desk, because without the bottom of the desk, the top of the desk doesn't exist, right? Left cannot exist without right. Up cannot exist without down. Joy cannot exist without pain. All of that, it needs to have its equal opposite, right? And the reason it needs to have the equal opposite is for you to actually, that literally is the essence of life. That is for you to appreciate life in itself, right? If there was no strife, if there were no bad times, right, you would not appreciate. That's a whole other definition of hell, in terms of having nothing but hedonistic, right, meaningless, shallow good times, right? That is just a different life, because in bad times you actually really see people's humanity. Bad times is where you really see the essence of a human being come out. You see their vulnerability. You see who they really are genuinely. In the good times, you don't. In the good times, I would argue that the most of the times, in the greatest of times, what you're seeing from people are facades. That is basically what you are seeing from people. That is why when you are younger, the majority of people, right, when they're younger, have drinking partners. They don't have actual friends, because by the time they're 30, 40, they lose all of them. All of their friends drop. They all fall, right? Because what happens is they go out and find something more valuable and more meaningful within their families, and they build a different little network from there that is not very big. But what you see as true friendship when you are younger, in terms of and it's not to say that you don't have one or two, but you've got a whole bunch of friends, and you go out, they've got a strong network and blah, blah. They were all just drinking partners. If you actually think about it, they were just drinking partners. They were not literally with you on the level of like being through like thick and thin type kind of characters, right? Because if you actually think back, the majority of the times that you cried alone, but the majority of the times that you laughed with other people, right? So it's just the sad reality of life. But anyway, carry on.
There's gotta be a better place to land, some kind of remedy for a world that wouldn't let him be. That's the man he was. Have you heard enough? What a shame, what a shame, to judge a life that you can't change. The choir sings, the church bells ring, so won't you give this man his...
That's fucking fire line. What a shame to judge a life by what you can't change. You can't change it in that life. You can't help him. So don't judge. You're not in that. Come on, man. That's fire. Let's go.
This man is wings. What a shame to have to beg you to see we're all the same. What a shame. God forgive the hands that laid you down. They never knew how much a broken heart can break the sound. Change the seasons, now the leaves are falling faster. Happily ever after, you gave me...
I've told you this before. I love it when they use seasons to sort of exemplify like sort of strife, right? In terms of to literally say now, he says now the seasons are falling down, now the leaves are falling down. So he's literally talking about autumn, where everything's dying and you're going into like a colder space, right? Everything's going to become bare because life is getting hard. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it when they do that with the seasons. I think the seasons really do play well into metaphorical type things in songs.
Ever after, you gave me hope through your endeavors, and now you will live forever. What a shame, to judge a life that you can't change. The choir sings, the church bells ring, so won't you give his man his wings? What a shame to have to beg you to see we're all the same. 'Cause we're all the same. 'Cause we're all the same.
Sick track though. Yep, and we're not all the same, and we all sort of wear our pain differently, and I think that's what people need to sort of understand. All of us go through different strifes in different times, and things get hard, right? And it's easy to judge somebody else. It's easy to judge somebody else by their sins, right? But I think you also need to look at that lens from your own sins as well, because we're all fallen souls. We all make mistakes, and it's a shame to judge others, and it's a shame for people to be judged by others when they don't really know what you're going through. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the very next one. Peace.